I suppose the worst place to be is when you're a cancer patient and the doctor is talking to you and saying, I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do. Go and sort out your affairs. And with a cancer trial, we're changing that conversation. We're giving that doctor and that patient another option, that maybe this trial might work for you. Let's look at your diagnosis and let's screen you for some of the trials that are on offer in Ireland. We've had 350 trials opened over the period of 20 years. 15,000 Irish patients have benefited from and been part of cancer trials in Ireland. As a result, we've also, as well as the health impact, very often we're offering perfect quality adjusted life years to patients. They've lived with good quality, they've been able to go back to work. We've got patients at the moment with stage 4 cancers, which means the cancer has spread throughout. And patients have been able to get onto treatments on trials, which has meant they've been able to go back to work, enjoy life with their family, go to their daughter's wedding, you know, be there and live a relatively normal life while being on a trial. I'm not going to lie. We haven't got there yet. We're not curing cancer, but we're certainly offering options. And one of the great things in my job is that I meet people all the time who've been part of our trials and who are out there living. I remember getting checked in on a flight and I was late for the flight, and the lady from Aer Lingus was helping me, and when she found out where I used to work, she said, I was on one of your trials 15 years ago, and she's there working. And I suppose that's where we're at. We've been first to get a lot of these trials into Ireland because of the amazing work of our members. And our members are those cancer doctors. A lot of Irish doctors, men and women, have gone abroad, they've trained in the US, they've trained in Australia, they've trained in the UK, and they don't just bring back knowledge, they're typically Irish. They bring back networks, and those networks are the people that organise global trials, which we've been part of, and Irish patients have been able to partake in them. So that's in a snapshot what we do, and we want to do more of that. In terms of cancer trials and where we are as a country, we could do better. In 2014, we reckon we had 3% of cancer patients on drug trials. That's now 1.5%. Why? Well, the kinds of trials we're doing are more niche, they're smaller, but the other side of that coin is we're not funded to do the kinds of trials we want to do. And in terms of the infrastructure you need in hospitals, you need cancer research to be an integral part of the care delivery pathway for patients. And we're just not, there isn't a budget within the HSE or the National Cancer Control Programme for research. And that's what we want to try and change. And we've got a really good mandate for that under the National Cancer Strategy, which was published in 2017. They wanted to double the number of cancer patients on trials. We're supposed to be at 6% next year. We're at 1.5%. So we need investment, but we also need a commitment from government and from the HSE and the National Cancer Control Programme that this is worth doing. And they might say that they can't afford it. Well, we would highlight the fact that there's an economic impact to developing cancer trials activity in hospitals. We proved in 2016 from a DKM economic impact analysis that we saved the government 6 million that year in drug costs. We added 16.5 million GDP to the country. We're a small country, so that's good. And also that we're employing over 200 people in Ireland in hospitals, and we've 45 people in Cancer Trials Ireland office, all researchers, seriously intimidating place to be, very bright people, all running our trials. So we're an employer, we're providing economic cost savings, which the government cares about, and I know that, but most importantly, we're giving patients the right to access a new opportunity for them and a new treatment for them. And I think in the context of this conference and why everyone is here today, that's what it's all about, that patients have the right to access. And there is a disparity at the moment. There are patients in one side of the country that are getting access to a trial that we're not able to deliver on the other side of the country because of resources. So we want to change that. There are patients getting access to drugs where the same drug has gone through the process, has gone through the clinical trial, and patients in Ireland can't get access to that treatment for lots of reasons, including funding. But most importantly for us, there are trials that we could be doing in Ireland. We have 5 trials in a queue: pancreatic cancer, testicular cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer trials, where we could be extending lives for patients, and we just can't afford to do them. And as a not-for-profit group, which is what we are, we can't take on a financial risk like that without support from key stakeholders, including the state. My call to the delegates today would be, to really advocate on behalf of research and innovation. And I think, that's what cancer trials is all about. It's testing new ideas, testing new innovative ideas for treatments for patients. It's not always drug treatments, by the way. It could be radiotherapy. It could be a test to find out if you've got a particular genetic target. There's lots of different types of research, but we really want the people here today to advocate for that, because we're not quite there yet in terms of the public psyche and in terms of decision makers understanding the value of innovation and the value of having a research-rich hospital. And what I mean by a hospital, a culture of research within Irish hospitals, because it's been proven worldwide, if you have a culture of research in your hospital, the standard of care in that hospital goes up. And an example I always use is if you're on a trial and there's an incident on a trial, or if you have a sneeze, a sniffle when you're on a clinical trial, that's recorded. And there's about 20 people looking at why. Your data's protected, you're only a number on trial, your name isn't on it, your address isn't on it, but there are people within the hospital who are looking at it, the sponsor of the clinical trial, where there could be pharmacovigilance, quality, clinical researchers, looking at why that happened. And I suppose that there's real comfort in that as a patient. It's not just the normal interaction when you're on a trial. And I suppose I love to get that message out to people, because there's always been a fear factor around trials for people as well. And I think the more people understand the regulatory environment we work in, the ethical environment we work in, that we do our very best to ensure patient safety while patients are participants and volunteers on a clinical trial.